field corner. Ortega chasing it. Twins win. Arcia drops a game winner into the left field corner.
In back-to-back games, it's been Arcia later. Consecutive game-winning hits for Oswaldo Arcia. Saturday afternoon with the home run. Yesterday with the game-winning single in the 12th. What a weekend for Oswaldo and for the Twins, who swept the Angels in a 3-game series. Now they'll start a 2-game series with the Brewers here at Target Field and move on to Milwaukee for the other 2 games in this series. This Brewers-Twins series on Fox Sports North is brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. Tonight, Phil Hughes makes his 3rd start of the season. He's looking for his first win of the season. Chase Anderson, 1-0 so far to start off this 2016 season, will go for the Brewers. Good evening from Target Field. I'm Marnie Gellner. We welcome you once again to a beautiful night for baseball. The Twins picked up wins number 1 and 2 and 3 this past weekend in their series with the Angels. Paul Molitor said we're not going to get too giddy because 0-9 was a pretty big hole that we dug ourselves, but he said the guys deserve to celebrate after this weekend. Here's your series setup now against the Brewers. Both teams had some struggles in interleague play last year, finishing with identical 8 and 12 records in games that they played against teams outside their league. Maybe the brightest spot for Minnesota this season is the pitching. In the last 7 collectively for the pitchers, the ERA is under 3. Opponents are batting .226 against Minnesota pitchers. So far, the Brewers have been all or nothing, feast or famine, in their last 4 losses. They've scored a total of 4 runs, but in their 2 wins, get this, 14 runs. So it's hot or cold, not really any in-between for the crew. The Twins, though, they were hot over this weekend taking, excuse me, they just raked here and all the dust came up. All 3 from the Angels. And Roy, Oswaldo Arcia was a big part of that over the weekend.
Marnie, this young man has a world of talent. We all know that, but his biggest issues to this point have been he swings the pitches he can't hit, and then when he does get pitches he can hit, he tries to pull them too much, and he just has never been able to get anything rolling. We might be seeing the maturation of a really nice young hitter right before our eyes here. Watch this pitch right here. That is a pitch he would always swing and miss. He took that pitch. That's a pitch he would swing and miss. He took that changeup. But now look, when the ball is where he can hit it, he's going the opposite way. When you have strength to your opposite alley, you hit the ball out, why would you worry about pulling the ball? He says, you know what? There are a lot of hits over there in the rest of that field. He got the game winner all the way over to the left field line. So Oswaldo Arcia from the right field line to the left field line, all of a sudden now we're looking like a really good young hitter, Marty.
A great young hitter who had himself a great weekend. Hoping for more big things from Arcia and the Twins as we start a 2-game short series here at Target Field. Coming up, Minnesota's starting pitching has been solid. Dick and Bert have that. More big performances from the starters. That's after this.
Tonight, Phil Hughes will make his third start of the year, looking for his and the team's first win as a member of the starting rotation. The Twins have won 3 in a row. They'll hope to make it 4 in a row here in the opener of 4 games with the Milwaukee Brewers. And with that, we welcome you to Target Field. Dick and Bert with you for the opening game of this 2-game series here at Target Field. It's been an odd stat. Twins have won 3 in a row, all 3 wins going to the bullpen, but that does not mean that the Twin starters have not done their job.
Yeah, they really have. The Twins have lost a lot of close ball games early on, and combined, yes, they're 0-6, but I'll tell you what, 3.75 combined earned run average, and over the last 7 ball games, they're even getting better. So what Phil Hughes needs to do here is do exactly what he did in his first 2 starts, attack the strike zone.
And tonight's Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Phil Hughes taking on a National League team here, and usually that means good things.
Yeah, you know what? Since 2014, his first season as a Minnesota Twin, you can go back to 6 interleague starts. Those are all how he did as a Twin starter in interleague play. 10 wins, 4 losses in 16 interleague starts overall.
It's been a streaky year for the Twins, a 9-game losing streak to begin the season. How long will the winning streak last? The Twins hope to extend it tonight. Two-game mini-series here in Minnesota, then a 2-game mini-series in Milwaukee, and then the 2 teams will be done facing each other. A year ago, Ron Renicky was still the manager of the Milwaukee Brewers, and then in early May, Craig Counsell took over. Some thought he might have a future in the front office, and instead he's the field manager now for the Milwaukee Brewers. And here is the Menards batting order for Milwaukee: Domingo Santana, Scooter Gennett, Ryan Braun, Jonathan Lucroy, Chris Carter, Aaron Hill, Kirk Nieuwenhuis, Jonathan Villar, and Ramon Flores.
And 29-year-old Phil Hughes will be throwing his first pitch for a strike. Phil making his 3rd start, both first 2 starts, quality starts, one against the Orioles, one against the White Sox.
Swing and a miss, 0-2. Mike Everett with plate duty tonight. Tim Timmons, Sean Barber, Jordan Baker, the base umps. 2 strikes to the leadoff man here in the first. Brewers are striking out a lot, and a high percentage of their strikeouts are on called third strikes. They're trying to adopt a new philosophy where they're taking more pitches. You saw Santana take the first pitch for a strike, now 1-2.
Well, that's almost the last thing you want to do against a strike thrower like Phil Hughes. You want to stay aggressive.
It's deep to the right field corner, but foul. Yeah, it's an interesting matchup in that regard because the Brewers so far this year have been taking a lot of pitches, trying to work counts. Almost impossible to do against one of the best strike throwers in the game. Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Arcia, Buxton, Sano across the outfield. Nunez at third for Plouffe. Escobar back in at short. Dozier, Mauer the right side of the infield, and Kurt Suzuki back behind the plate. Breaking ball in front of the plate, 2-2.
You know, Phil Hughes has made 16 interleague starts, 21 appearances. He did some relief working for the Yankees. This is his first start against the Milwaukee Brewer organization.
And a cutter off the plate, and it's a full count.
Both starts for Phil Hughes very good. In Baltimore, 6 innings, 3 earned runs allowed. And then against the White Sox here, 3 earned runs allowed in 6 1/3 innings. Both quality starts, both losses though.
Sharply hit, and the ball comes up for Dozier, who makes a nice play, 1 down. A long at bat, a full count, and a pretty well hit ball for the first out. And that'll bring up Scooter Gennett. Gennett, maybe more than anybody else, embodies the new approach that the Brewers are adopting this year. Last year, in just under 400 at bats, he only walked 12 times. Well, he's already walked 9 times this year.
Yeah, he spent some time on a disabled list last year, but this guy is a pretty good hitter. 3 major league seasons, a .287 career hitter.
That's to left center field, and Buxton will chase it a long ways from home plate, and he won't get there. And Gennett drives one to the gap in left center for a double.
Well, that's why I say Phil Hughes is a strike thrower. He's going to try to get ahead in the count, and Gennett taking that pitch the other way for his first double of the year. Fastball, you can see Suzuki wants it in, too much of the plate. About belt high, and Gennett taking it the other way, and even the speedster Buxton can't catch up to this. And it's a 1-out double.
And that'll bring up Ryan Braun. We will, in this 4-game series, see the difference between the 2 leagues. 2 American League games played here tonight, and then 2 National League games. And with the games back to back, there's a pitch, low, ball 1. You'll see what in my mind is a terrible inequity in interleague play. For the Brewers, they've got 2 games by American League rules. All that means, really, is that Braun is in the lineup and he can get a little bit of a break off his legs and be a designated hitter. And maybe tomorrow it'll be Lucroy. Who knows? Maybe it'll be Braun both games. But it's hardly a concession for them to play by American League rules. If anything, it's a little bit of a welcome break perhaps for a veteran like Braun. And then, of course, the Twins, just the other, by playing by National League rules, the pitchers have to hit. They're not used to that. And I just, that's the worst part for me, the worst part of interleague play.
I just wish baseball would decide whether they keep the DH for both leagues or to go back to pitcher hit both leagues.
That's chopped up the middle. It'll be a base hit, and Gennett will round third and score. So some pretty well hit balls here right out of the chute against Phil Hughes, and the Brewers get the first run.
Yeah, Ryan Braun picking up his 8th run batted in as Gennett scores. Well, you got a fastball. Again, a pitch that stayed up. So Gennett hit a pitch about belt high, as Braun did right there, taking it right back up the middle.
One nothing, and now Jonathan Lucroy, the catcher. Inside ball 1. Brewers dealing just about everybody with any veteran status at all other than Braun and Lucroy. And it's not a sure thing that Lucroy will survive the trading deadline this year.
Yeah, Braun 10 years with the Brewers. Lucroy, this is his 7th season.
And Phil Hughes misses. It's 2-0.
Tell you what, this guy is a good receiver. Since 2014, you see where he ranks as far as hits, runs, batting average. Last year he was injured. He broke his big toe and missed almost 2 months. Ended up hitting .264 in 103 games.
And right down the middle, a strike. You look at Lucroy's numbers, and you'd have to say, I think, that he's considered to be one of the better offensive catchers in the game. And yet you look at his career numbers, and he's going to hit 13, 15 home runs a year. Not a threat to hit 300 or anything like that.
Yeah, career .282 hitter in his first 6 big league seasons, and an all-star for the National League in 2014.
You know, and we're coming out of an era where there were some great offensive players who were catchers. Joe Mauer, Mike Piazza, others. But now it just seems like, whether it's the drug testing, whether it's, you know, whatever, it's just a lot tougher to get any offense at all from your catchers. Matt Wieters is considered to be one of the best, and yet his career numbers are modest by standards set 10, 15 years ago.
I guess you'd have to look at Buster Posey
right.
With the Giants.
3-1, and this has been a very rough first inning for Phil Hughes. Even the out was hit hard.
Yeah, 15 pitches, only 7 strikes, unlike Phil Hughes.
Popped up right side. Mauer tracking it, and it's back in the seats. On this road trip, we'll go through Milwaukee and end up in Washington, D.C. And Wilson Ramos is considered one of the better catchers in the National League, yet offensively, certainly not what Joe Mauer gave the Twins 3 batting titles when he was behind the plate. 3-2 to Lucroy.
Well, keep an eye on Braun, because he'll take that walking lead if you do not pay attention to him.
He's got to have a pretty healthy lead there, doesn't he?
Make him stop. He's creeping. There he goes.
And popped up again. You're right. He was leaning. And if Hughes had turned and thrown to first, he may have been able to pick him off.
We see a couple little mini steps right there, and then taking off. Braun over his career, 165 stolen bases. He's been caught 46 times. 0 for 1 this year.
Another 3-2 pitch coming to Lucroy. And there's the throw over.
I mentioned in his last start, Phil Hughes has never had a pickoff at this level. And Braun does have a comfortable lead.
Doesn't go this time, and a ball dribbled foul. Still only 1 out on the board. Twins have gotten good starts through their 3-game winning streak. Starts of 6, 7, and 7 innings. He was throwing a lot of bullets, or shooting a lot of bullets here in the first inning.
And with the bullpen being taxied a little extra yesterday with that 12-inning win over the Angels, you'd like Phil Hughes to think that he could go deep into the ball game and not put a lot of added pressure on those arms out there. But you have to get out through the first inning first.
And time called. Only one team in the major leagues takes more pitches than the Brewers. That's the veteran-laden New York Yankees. Small sample size. We're talking about less than 2 weeks of play, but Braun stays put, and the pitch driven foul. And more than anything else, other than walking people, which Hughes hardly ever does, is the foul balls can really take its toll in terms of running up the pitch count.
Yeah, get that pitch count. 8 pitches so far in this at bat to Lucroy. Phil's had 1 double play turn behind him this year. This is just his 3rd start, but more of a fly ball type pitcher.
And another foul ball. Braun's taken off for second only once with all these 3-2 pitches. The very first 3-2 pitch.
Yeah, 9 pitches.
Now you do the math, and it'll tell you there have been 4 2-strike fouls.
Wow, very good.
Because it gets to 3 and 2, see,
Yeah.
and then total of 9. You
It'd be 5.
subtract 5 from 9.
Is 3?
4.
4. Yeah, he's going. No, he held up.
Call
Got
third
it.
strike.
I think he went with that little cutter inside and picks up a strikeout. So Hughes not real sharp here, but he is on that pitch. Suzuki sitting inside. That little cutter. And Suzuki framing it for Mike Everett, the crew chief here. He calls it a 3rd strike.
It took 10 pitches, but finally Lucroy is disposed of, and now here is former Astro Chris Carter. And Carter takes strike or ball 1.
Yeah, Carter not much of an offensive hitter as far as average wise. He is hitting 270, 3 home runs, does strike out a lot. Twins saw him when he was with the Oakland A's, last 3 seasons with the Astros. But he's one of these guys that when he makes contact, that ball just jumps off his bat.
Tremendous power, and he kind of embodied the Astro approach that was very successful last year, but now the Astros have become younger, more athletic.
For the Astros last year, he played 129 games. He hit only 199, but he hit 24 home runs. So with the home runs come the strikeouts.
And a called strike.
151 times he struck out last year in 391 plate appearances.
He was trying to control the damage here, but some of the damage on your screen right there. This would be his 25th pitch of the first inning. One strikeout in the inning, hoping for another one here in the Carter at bat. Off speed pitch missing inside.
Yeah, Suzuki sat down and away, and the ball may be slipping out of the hands of Phil Hughes. One thing I have seen Phil this year do, the first 2 starts, is yes, he attacks it with the fastball, but he's mixing in a lot of off-speed pitches, a lot of breaking balls, changing speeds on it, that little cutter. More of the curveball than I saw, I think, last year. And again, he's had 2 very good starts. Oh, there's a good pitch.
And Carter laid off.
Yeah.
3 and 2.
Now Joe will play behind Braun. That's where it crosses the plate. Suzuki caught it low, but nice bite on that curveball.
Braun will take off with a full count and 2 down.
Oh, Joe's holding him on.
And a fastball puts an end to a long first inning. Back-to-back hits for the Brewers and the game's first run. team whose cap he wore in Cooperstown for his induction. And the Menards batting order for the Twins in the opening game of this 4-game set. Eduardo Nunez leading off, then Brian Dozier, Joe Mauer, Miguel Sano, Oswaldo Arcia, Byung-Ho Park, Eduardo Escobar, Kurt Suzuki, and Byron Buxton.
And on the mound for the Brewers, it'll be 28-year-old Chase Anderson. He's had 2 very, very good starts to start the season for his new ball club. Last couple of years with the Arizona Diamondbacks, got traded over in late January to the Brewers. This is his first career start against the Twins, his 51st Major League start.
Eduardo Nunez had an 0-fer yesterday, back in the lineup though, because it is becoming increasingly more likely that Trevor Plouffe's going on the disabled list tomorrow. Late in the game yesterday, Plouffe strained an intercostal muscle. And I'll bet you didn't even know that you had. Well, maybe you don't, but the human body has something called an intercostal muscle.
You know, I talked to Tom Bernansky about it, and it had been bothering Trevor for the last 2 or 3 days. He said he didn't really feel it when he was hitting. It's more when he ran the bases, I believe, in the 10th inning.
And I've had a strained intercostal muscle.
How did you get it?
And it's none of your business. But it hurts when you cough, sneeze, or do some of the. There's a drive foul.
Don't cough or sneeze.
But
where is it? Like
in your rib cage.
Like your rib cage.
Yep. No, actually, I've strained an intercostal muscle at the fantasy camp this year.
Did you really?
I did.
Did you get treatment for it?
I try to stay out of the trainer's room.
Actually, we don't have a trainer there.
I see people go in there and they never come out. 1-2 to Nunez. Will be followed by Dozier and Mauer. That's hit to left. Hit pretty well.
Get over his head.
Oh, what a catch in left. Ramon Flores with a reaching catch as he was approaching the warning track.
This ball looked like it was going to go over the head of Flores, but he went back and reached up at the last second. Nunez hitting a line drive. Flores going back and right there. Nice running catch. Good concentration, open glove for the first out.
Well, the first Brewer out was a well-hit ground ball to Brian Dozier. Nunez put good wood on the ball, and now Dozier will hit with 1 out in the bottom of the inning. Inside, ball 1.
Yeah, the scouting report on Chase Anderson that the Twins have gotten a good sinking fastball. He'll throw a slider like a cutter. That last pitch, the curveball, and a very good changeup.
Down and away. Take a look at the Northland Ford defense for the Brewers. You won't recognize many of these names, at least not in Brewer uniforms. Flores, Neuenhuis, and Santana in the outfield. Hill, Villar, Jeanette, Carter the infielders, and Lucroy behind the plate. 2-0 to Dozier. And now 3-0. We're 2 weeks into the season. The Twins are 6 games below the 500 mark, largely because Brian Dozier has only scored 2 runs and Miguel Sano has only driven in 2 runs. Those are 2 numbers that have to start changing in a hurry. There's a 4-pitch walk, and maybe Dozier. Oh my. Whew, that fooled me.
Yeah, I think it fooled Brian Dozier too.
Goodness gracious, that wasn't close to being a strike. That was right down the batter's box strike.
Hey, if Mike Everett's going to call that,
you're going to bring you out of retirement.
There, that should be a strike too.
So now a full count.
Now, if Lucroy starts going into the left-handed hitter's batter's box, and he calls that, then you know his strike zone really big.
That's hit high to center field. Neuenhuis going back, and that's out number 2. And that'll bring up Joe Mauer, tied for the 3rd in the American League in hitting.
Joe's been red hot, currently on an 8-game hitting streak where he's hitting the .372. Joe, 1 home run, a double, a triple.
And our Toyota key stat. Manny Machado with an 11-game hitting streak. And Mauer on the list as well. And he'll hit here with 2 out and the base is empty in the first. Ball 1.
Well, Joe has a birthday coming tomorrow. We'll be celebrating that.
He's at an age where you can still celebrate them. You and I, we don't. Well, you do a little bit. But
just a little.
1-0.
So this will be his last day as a 32-year-old. So you want to make the best of it.
Sure. 2-0. My goodness. Now that looked like ball 3-2 from up here. There you see the batting leaders. Mauer tied with J.D. Martinez, Machado, Trumbo. And an excuse me roller back to the mound. And Anderson got a little help along the way, but he ends up with a 1-2-3 first inning.
Here at Target Field, the Twins made an announcement earlier this afternoon that they have hired Ron Gardenhire as a special assistant to general manager Terry Ryan. Gardy will visit all Twins minor league affiliates. He'll serve as an instructor and evaluator. Trevor Plouffe said today that Gardy is going to be a tremendous help to the organization. He said, "We are thrilled." Paul Molitor said Gardy pretty much knows everything about this game, and he is going to be a valuable resource to us. Dick and Bert, great to hear that news today. Gardy is back with the Twins.
Yeah, thank you, Marty. Yes, very, very good news. We had a chance to listen to Gardy talk to the writers and before the game. He's very, very excited about coming back.
1-1. Yeah, it just seems like it's always has been a really good fit, a good marriage. And as I tweeted, I don't know whether to be happier for Ron to be reconnected with the Twins or the Twins to be reconnected with him. Well, he was trying to work that outside corner to Aaron Hill. He's gotten 1 call and 2 of them off the plate, 2-1.
Yeah, you know what? Everett missed that curveball too. The second pitch looked like a pretty good pitch. So I think Hughes and Suzuki trying to figure out what Everett will give them.
High fly center field into the twilight, and Buxton comes in. 1 down. That'll bring up Neuenhuis. Join us Saturday, April 30th. The Twins take on the Tigers, and the first 10,000 fans get a Twins fur bomber hat presented by Red Baron Pizza. Go to twinsbaseball.com/tickets. Get your tickets for a Twins bomber hat and your ticket to summer. You know, the Twins over the years have had great promotions like the bomber hat. This is what, the 2nd or 3rd year they've had that. You could go through the seasons here in Minnesota, 12 months out of the year, and you could wear a Twins product Ball popped up down the left field line. Arcia chasing it, but it has no play. You could wear Twins gear year round here in Minnesota. Stocking caps, bomber hats.
Didn't we just have Brian Dozier's glove giveaway?
Yeah.
I believe we had that.
1 strike to Nieuwenhuis.
Yeah, Nieuwenhuis new to the Brewers. Last year between the Angels and the Mets, played in 64 ball games, hit only 208. Originally signed by the Mets.
Kind of a skeletal schedule here in baseball on this Monday. Just 2 other American League games. Swing and a miss, 1 and 2.
Good breaking ball there. You know, I said with Hill up, you know, Phil Hughes a veteran, Suzuki a veteran. You want to try to learn what that umpire behind the plate, and Mike Everett a veteran, what he will give you, what he won't give you. And he gave him that outside part of the plate, that little 2-seamer, little cutter, excuse me, that came over the outer half of the plate. So Suzuki sits there.
Looked like that broke around the plate too. You never liked that phrase, did you?
No.
Well, may have gotten the corner.
Thank you.
2 down. Here is VR.
Strikeout number 3 for Hughes. And Dick, I think it's harder to pitch today than it was maybe when I pitched, okay? Because you had American League, National League umpires. You knew you were going to get an American League umpire, maybe like a Larry Barnett, maybe 3-4 times behind the plate. You knew what he would give you and what he wouldn't give you. And we could talk about the Fox box all we want, but certain umpires do give a little bit more than others. Some of them like to call the strike up. Some of them like to call it outside a little bit. And it's up to you and the catcher to figure out what that home plate umpire will give you.
The intent of using technology is to make the strike zone more uniform. They are supposed to look at pitches after their plate assignments. In fact, they are told if they've missed a certain number of pitches. Escobar digs it out, fires across, and it's a much better second inning for Phil Hughes.
They're still human. They're gonna all have their own strike zone.
Trevor Plouffe left yesterday's game after the 10th inning with an intercostal strain. That is a muscle behind the rib cage. He said he felt better today, but he's still pretty sore. Paul Molitor said he wanted to give it a day, that Plouffe has earned that, but now the Twins are heading to National League parks this week. Their bench is a little thin, so Terry Ryan said tonight Plouffe will most likely be heading to the disabled list before tomorrow's game. And Dick and Bert, when I talked to Plouffe before this game, he said, I'm not going to be selfish about this. I will not hinder the team. If they feel like they need to DL me and they need a healthy body to be up here, I am definitely okay with that.
Yeah, thank you, Marnie. It's a shame because Trevor, who's just starting to swing the bat well in that Angels series, had quite a series.
1 strike to Sano. He'll be followed by Arcia and Park. I talked with Trevor after the game last night, and he said, "Well, just a couple of days, a few days," he may have said. But you know, to the manager's point, you're going to be going and to be playing by National League rules starting on Wednesday. And you know, you got to have pinch hitters, and you don't have a designated hitter, so you have an extra man on the bench because of that. But you like to be as flexible as possible. 2-1. On a related note, Danny Santana is heading to Fort Myers to start a rehab assignment on Thursday. He'll leave here on Wednesday, and then they hope to bring him back when his 15 days are up. He's on the disabled list with a hamstring injury.
Yeah, he's ready to fly. I mean, he's been running around this field like it never happened. He just wants to get back in that lineup if possible.
3-2 to Miguel Sano. And as we said in the first inning, this Twins team is where they are in the one-loss column, in part because Brian Dozier's only scored 2 runs, and the Twins are counting on him to score more than 100. And Miguel Sano has only driven in 2 runs, and the Twins are counting triple digits in that category for Sano. A deep drive to left center field. A rocket to tie the game.
Well, there's his first home run of the year. And you said yesterday when he hits one within probably 5 at-bats, he may hit another one.
That was
a good swing right there.
We've seen most of his home runs with some trajectory. That was a line shot that went out to the bullpen in the blink of an eye.
This young man's so strong, just 22 years old. Again, 18 home runs last year in 80 ball games. Getting high fives all around.
And now here is Oswaldo Arcia. And Arcia takes strike 1.
And that's the first earned run that Chase Anderson has given up in a Brewers uniform. Came into the ballgame 11 innings. He gave up 3 runs in his last start, but 3 unearned runs.
And Arcia flips one foul down the left field line, not far from where he ended the game with a single.
Yeah, great at bat right here, taking that street pitch the other way. Ortega could not get to it. Buxton scored the winning run. That in the bottom of the 12th inning. Sano's home run measured at 409 feet.
In the dirt, 1-2. Arcia hit the go-ahead home run in the 8th inning on Saturday. Got the game-winning RBI single in Sunday's game. And in both cases, as Roy Smalley detailed in the pregame show, the ball flipped into right field, and he'll get a base hit. A more mature, a better 2-strike approach. And Arcia with a single will get Park to the plate.
Well, take a look at the pitch right here. Sano's home run, pretty much right down the heart of the plate. And Sano with that bit of an uppercut swing. Boy, solid swing right there, and it's a line drive home run into the bullpen.
Sano hits his first. Arcia with a soft line drive single to right, and now Byung-Ho Park. Right into the shift, and the second baseman Jeanette starts a double play. The Twins, or the Brewers rather, putting a pull shift on for Park, and he hit a sharp ground ball headed up the middle right at the second baseman.
So many scouting reports out there now. There's so many shifts put on by so many different clubs, and the Brewers one of those clubs that likes to shift a lot. And Jeanette, he was right there to get that ground ball. Then there was a foot race to second and the throw to first for the double play.
Eduardo Escobar back in the starting lineup after getting a couple of games off. He'd been struggling at the plate a little bit. 4 errors on the season, and frankly, the Twins needed to find some place to put Eduardo Nunez in the lineup, and it was at second base for Dozier one day, a couple days at short for Escobar, and now with Plouffe hurt, Escobar finds himself back in the lineup. Well, the Brewers did something that teams are not supposed to do before that pitch. In fact, as it was being delivered, the pitcher winding up and delivering the pitch, the shortstop Villar was moving behind the pitcher. And teams have been told not to do that. Ray Miller, who managed here in the mid-'80s, would do that intentionally and got a sternly worded, it was a letter back then. They didn't have emails back then. But he would do it when Wade Boggs was up to try to distract him, and it really worked, because usually Boggs he went from getting 7 hits in a 3-game series to 6.
Yeah, you had the shortstop Greg Agnew doing jumping jacks out there right behind the pitcher.
There's a ball hit to center. 3rd hit of the inning. Escobar hits it over the shifted shortstop.
Well, Twins pick up the 3rd hit of this inning. Escobar lining one into center field.
Twins fans, if you can't watch the games on TV, you can now stream games live on your mobile device. Just go to your app store, download the free Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the Twins wherever you go. Escobar at first. Everything's been hit hard here in this 2nd inning, maybe with the exception of Arcia's soft liner to right.
You know, we were talking about Lucroy when he was up, about him having a very good average, and the Twins need Suzuki and John Ryan Murphy to start picking it up a little bit. Suzuki only 2 hits, a double and a triple, and John Ryan Murphy only 1 hit, and that was a double.
Then a guy who did some catching for the Twins the last couple years, Eric Friars, made 2 starts for the Cardinals, and he's 6 for 6. He's batting 1,000.
Yeah, but there's a good chance at the end of the season Fryer might still have 6 hits.
Now, why would you say that?
He played here. I saw him.
I like Eric Fryer.
I like Eric Fryer too, but he's known as a defensive catcher. Quick trip to the mound by Lucroy. Good defensive catcher, not much offense, but he is off to a good start. Good for Eric. We don't face the Cardinals.
2-0 to Suzuki. A couple of days off to try to restart his season with tonight's game. That's hit to right center and hit pretty well. Neuenhuis will chase it. He won't get it. That ball is high off the wall. Rounding 3rd, Escobar will score, and Suzuki with an RBI double, nearly putting one up over the high wall above the 403 marker.
Oh, he didn't miss by much by going into that planter box out there, and Suzuki gave it a ride. His 2nd double of the year, driving in his 3rd run. And with 2 outs, it was off to the races for Escobar at first base. Wow. Fastball away. And that ball hit high off the wall. Maybe a couple feet from going out. And Escobar, good hustle right here by Escobar, as he scores on the double to take a 2-1 lead.
Ball, one of the longest balls, might be the longest ball I've seen Suzuki hit, and he did it to the opposite field gap.
A little visit by the pitching coach, Derek Johnson, out to talk to Chase Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson had a quick 1-2-3 first, but Nunez hit his ball hard. Mauer on a check swing was retired. Everything that's been hit here has been hit rather sharply. Here's Buxton squaring to bunt with 2 outs, and he takes a strike. Don't know that Twins do want Buxton to bunt more often, but
not now. You want to try to drive him. You want to try to drive in Suzuki.
Buxton fell behind 0-2 late in the ball game, and hit a wicked shot that nearly won the ball game for the Twins, and Drelton Simmons made a great play to retire Buxton. Swinging a foul, 0-2. Twins have done a nice job cutting down on the strikeouts. In the 3-game winning streak, only 17 strikeouts, and 17 strikeouts, frankly, was about 1 game's total during the losing streak. 0-2 to Buxton. And he takes. Breaking ball in the dirt.
Yeah, Anderson throwing a lot of changeups. Not an overpowering fastball. Originally signed by the Diamondbacks, Anderson, the number 9 pick in 2009 out of the University of Oklahoma. He was actually drafted twice by the Twins, out of high school and then junior college, but decided to continue his college education.
Might have cracked his bat. Came inside. Buxton sounded like he hit it on the trademark. Well, apparently not. 4 hits for the Twins here in the second. So far, a 2-1 lead. The Twins won the ball game in extra innings yesterday. Angels didn't get a hit after the 4th inning, and they knocked out Carlos Rodon tonight after a third of an inning. They're up on the White Sox already 5-0. 1-2 to Buxton. Breaking ball got him, and Lucroy
have to hurry.
Makes the throw to complete the strikeout. The inning started with Miguel Sano's first home run of the year. The Twins added another run, and it's 2-1. One of the best, if not the best, Twins hitter in the lineup. Drive to left, and that one is a no-doubter. That might be the hardest ball I've ever seen hit, ever. Deep to left field. This one in the 3rd deck. Sano hitting his first of the year, and the Twins and Phil Hughes now with a 2-1 lead. Sano takes his position in right field. And the leadoff man is Ramon Flores, who started the game for the Brewers defensively with a nice catch on left. And now he hits one hard out toward Arcia, who makes the catch one away. 6 in a row sent down by Phil Hughes after Ryan Braun's ground ball single gave the Brewers the early lead.
You know, 27 pitches in that first inning for Phil, but then 12 in the second. Hopefully he can have another quick inning here.
Brewers came into this game. They've won 5 games, but they bring a .213 team batting average into the game. Ground ball to short. Nice stop by Escobar. Comes up firing, got him, and a couple of quick outs. here in the third inning.
Yeah, 3 pitches, 2 outs. Nice defensive play by Escobar.
Carsoup.com trivia question. See if it's border battle related. Which Brewer has the most all-time home runs against the Twins?
Ben Ogilvy.
Not you. Could be Ogilvy, Cecil Cooper, Gorman Thomas, Robin Yount.
Yeah.
2 down, and now Scooter Gennett. When you played, starting in 1970 and then into the later 70s, and then when you came back, was there really a border battle? Was it the big rival? Milwaukee, of course, in your time, was in the American League.
Yeah, more in the early 70s, I believe there was that battle. We didn't like each other. Just, a couple hit batsmen here or there.
Into right center field,
Buxton.
and Buxton makes the catch.
Quick inning.
5 pitches and a 1-2-3 third. Fox Sports North is presented by T-Mobile. Get major league coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE in the last year. I have no idea what that means, but it sounds impressive.
Very much.
You double
so.
anything,
Yeah.
You're doing pretty good. Eduardo Nunez will lead things off for the third, in the third for the Twins. And the Brewers starters ERA is almost double of what the Twins is. Twins starters, as we said in the open, done very well. Starters earned run average of 3.75. The Brewers more than 2 runs higher than that, 5.95. And you can't blame Anderson because he hadn't given up an earned run until Sano's home run leading off the second. 1 strike to Nunez. Right up the middle. The ball hit the mound. VR was able to catch it or keep it in the infield. And Nunez has hit the ball very hard twice again tonight.
In your follow through as a pitcher, you have to be careful in case that ball comes back to you. And that looked like it went right through Anderson. Right back up the middle. Yeah, Anderson skipped to get out of the way. Villar knocked it down, but no chance to get Nunez.
You can see the ball hitting the top of the mound, and then that course causes an awful lot of topspin. And the ball went into VR's glove, but he couldn't keep it in there. And now here's Dozier. And Nunez, a threat to steal, gets back to the bag.
Yeah, Nunez a couple stolen bases in 4 attempts. Twins have 8 stolen bases. They've been caught 4 times.
Now Nunez tending to something along the base over there. Remember, he went back in the Anaheim series and jammed a finger or something in his left hand. Now, if you're Brian Dozier and you're looking at this shift that the Brewers have, how can you not, with Carter holding the runner at first? He has the entire right side of the infield open to him.
I'm wondering if, situations like this that Paul, you want Brian to swing the bat, maybe a little hit and run or something. Make him swing the bat, pitch away, just take it that way. Third straight throw over to Nunez.
We've seen the Brewers twice already with a pull shift to a right-handed batter. Sometimes managers are a little less apt to do it to a right-handed batter than a left-handed batter, but my goodness, there's Brian Dozier staring at a wide open right side of the infield. And the Brewers and other teams will do this unless or until Brian hits the ball over there and makes them pay for the shift. One strike. When we were in Kansas City, talked with Mike Moustakas. Now Moustakas is a left-handed batter, so everything is mirror image for him, of course, but he said the key to his turnaround was forcing himself to hit the ball to the other way, away from the shifts. There you go, down the right field line, but that's going to twist foul by about 5 feet.
But good idea right there by Dozier. A little bit off the end of the bat.
2 strikes now, and I just got to try to make contact. Dozier hit a fly ball to center his first time up.
I'm sure as a hitter, when you're up there and you see the second baseman playing on the shortstop side, you have to look at that big hole on the right. And it looks like they're pitching him in the first couple pitches, outer half of the plate. Brian, of course, likes something in that he can pull. Lucroy sitting away.
And so he dribbles one up the grass. And the ball out of Carter's glove. Nunez to third. They're going to wave him around. The throw to the plate. Off the screen in front of the Milwaukee dugout. Dozier's at second. Nunez has scored, and it's 3-1.
Wow, this is an area that has really hurt the Brewers early this season. That is their 12th error already. So it's kind of a swinging bunt. Anderson feels it and then throws it high to Carter, hits off the tip of his glove. And then Santana comes in, and the throw just a little bit off the mark.
That was Domingo Santana, who threw it somewhere between home plate and third base. Well, Dozier at second. I wonder where this game would be right now without the double play that Park hit into. He hit the ball sharply into the shift. And Nunez.
Well, you pick up the third base coach, and that's Gene Glenn. You see where Gene Glenn is. He slides in safely. Twins lead 3-1.
1 strike to Mauer. And a check swing. He had a dribbler back to the mound, fielded by Anderson. And missing inside, 1-1.
Play on that. Brian Dozier gets an infield base hit. An error on the pitcher. No RBI for Brian Dozier.
Down and away, 2-1. We're entering the game with an on-base percentage of .472. 8 walks and only 4 strikeouts. Dozier inching away from second base, and the inside move gets him back to second. Two and one to Mauer. That's to left. Flores is back. He makes the catch. And Dozier bluffs a tag. One away. Pretty well hit ball for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, Brian did the right thing. Go back and tag, make the left fielder throw the ball in, and he threw a perfect strike to Hill at third base.
That'll bring up Miguel Sano.
Yeah, his first at bat, got a fastball. And you see the ball leaving at 112 miles an hour. That's about how fast I leave this ballpark to get home.
Well, now you've alerted the highway patrol to that.
They can't go 112. They'll never catch me.
Big swing and a miss.
Boy, Anderson throwing a lot of off-speed pitches. First time I've seen Chase Anderson work. A lot of change-ups. He does have a pretty good curveball.
Brewers rebuilding their rotation. Veteran Matt Garza on the disabled list with a lat strain. He didn't seem to really fit the game plan in Milwaukee anyway as a veteran.
And they had another guy there, Kyle Loesch.
I thought you were going to say Kyle Gibson.
That is out of baseball right now.
Half swing and 1-1.
Another changeup.
Now the shortstop Bayar comes in to talk to Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson making his 51st major league start, his third as a Brewer. Of course, the first time the Twins have seen Anderson. He's actually done pretty well for the Diamondbacks in interleague play. This is his 8th interleague start. In his 7 previous starts, he is 3-1 with a 2.68 earned run average.
1-1 to Sano. Two and one. Sano, by the way, took some ground balls at third base today when it became apparent the Twins were considering putting Trevor Plouffe on the disabled list. Plouffe, in any case, not available tonight. So, in case something were to happen to Eduardo Nunez, Danny Santana's on the disabled list. They, in an emergency situation, needed to consider somebody else. It's on the outside corner, 2-2.
Another look like curveball at 76 miles an hour.
Two and two to Sano. That landed well in front of the left-handed batter's box. A full count with Arcia on deck. 6 hits already for the Twins. 3 runs. 4 hits in the second, 2 in the third. And some loud outs as well. Nunez lined out. Mauer lined out. Mark hit a smash into the ground that turned into a double play.
Yeah, Twins are making very good contact against Anderson.
And a chopper foul. Sano, just 22 years old, but he knows his job is to drive in runs. And to have played 12 games and driven in just 2 runs, you can understand why the young man been pressing a little bit. And to get that first one out of the way, that first home run, should lead to better at bats.
80 games last year, 52 runs batted in.
Breaking ball got him. Sano thought it was ball 4. And instead, it's a called third strike, 2 down.
Yeah, big curveball. Anderson picks up his second strikeout.
Time now for tonight's Let's Motor Player Profile, brought to you by BMW Mini. Oswaldo Arcia, who has a younger brother who later this year might be the starting shortstop for the Brewers, Orlando Arcia, in his 4th year with the Major League club. Hoping to pick up a big 2-out run batted in here. Missing inside, ball 1. Twins got a run in the inning, and Dozier was at second with nobody out. Then Mauer lined out. Sano took the called third strike. Twins got some 2-out hitting done in the Angels series. One of the reasons they won 3 close, low-scoring ball games. In short right field, Jeanette has it, and he'll throw Arcia out. The Twins get a couple of hits and another run on the third. Link Prism TV for an advanced TV experience. Learn more at cprismtv.com. Brewers got the first run of the game in the first inning. The Twins have given Phil Hughes a 2-run lead. Ryan Braun drove in the run with a first inning single. It'll be Braun, Lucroy, and Carter in the Milwaukee fourth.
You know, Phil did struggle in that first inning. Again, 27 pitches, but he needed 12 in the second, only 5 in the third to get the 3 outs. Now at 44 pitches.
And Hughes' first start against the Orioles, he had a couple of early run lead. He had a 2-run lead early in the ball game against the Orioles, but Orioles, of course, came back to win that game 1-0, and Braun takes ball 2. Brewers finishing up an 8-game to a 3-city road trip with a night game here, day game tomorrow. Then both teams, are we flying on the same plane by chance?
We could, but I don't believe so.
Could take the train. We could, depending on who wins the games here. There's ball 3. You can have the winner could be in the front of the train, and then the loser of tomorrow's game could be in the back of the train. Right down the middle, 3-1. Now, you started in 1970, but I would guess there might have been an odd train trip from like Washington to Baltimore or something like that.
No, more of a bus.
Bus, okay, all right. Ball 4, Braun takes a leadoff walk.
Yeah, that's the first walk for Phil Hughes this season.
And that'll bring up Lucroy representing the tying run. Twins Flex Plan gives you the flexibility to choose your games and your number of seats. Choose in advance or even the day of the game. Don't plan, Flex Plan. Go to twinsbaseball.com/flex or call 800-33-TWINS to learn more. Taking the train to Milwaukee a couple times from the Twin Cities. Very relaxing trip. Lucroy ended up striking out looking. It was a 10-pitch at bat and kind of turned Hughes around. He hasn't given up a hit since. And there's a hit. Braun to second, and he'll hold up there. So the Brewers starting something here in the fourth, a leadoff walk and follow-up single.
Yeah, fastball left up right there. As you mentioned, a 10-pitch at bat, finally struck out in the first. But here, Lucroy jumping on that first pitch. Third hit for the Brewers.
Here's Chris Carter. Hughes ended up striking him out swinging.
On a 3-2 fastball.
Double play grounder. 6-4. And the throw by Dozier into the dugout. Away from the screen. And a run will score. Most of the area in front of the Twins dugout is protected by a screen, and it looked like that went right down the stairwell. Now we're going to look at the slide and see at second base.
I'll watch Lucroy go right into the bag.
That's how you're supposed to do it.
Yep. And the throw, just a erratic throw.
Second error this year on Dozier, and it's a 3-2 ball game.
Yeah, Taylor made double play. Now there's one out with Carter at second base.
Veteran Aaron Hill at the plate. Strike on the outside corner. You know, the irony of that is the new slide rule at second base was put in so middle infielders have less to worry about. They're really, you can't come up with any excuse for Dozier throwing as poorly as he did. The runner did exactly what you're supposed to do. Now, a year ago, Lucroy would have been well within his rights to come in hard,
try to take him
and
out.
try to take him out, but
Right.
you can't do that anymore.
Well, the ball just probably slipped out of the hands of Brian Dozier. He's usually very, very steady at second.
2 strikes to Aaron Hill. Brewers got a little help in this inning with the leadoff walk, then the Dozier error. Still only 1 out in the inning. And Hill drives it to left, but right at Arcia, who has to reach up to pull it down. 2 down. That'll bring up Neuenhuis. Neuenhuis called out on strikes his first time up. Breaking ball on the outside corner. Angels leading the White Sox 6-0 against Carlos Rodon, lasting just a third of an inning, giving up 5 runs in the first. In the Patriot game, Toronto beat Boston at Fenway Park 4-3. That's hit to the gap in left center field. It'll tie the game. Buxton cuts it off. He'll hold Neuenhuis to a single. And a couple of unearned runs for the Brewers here have tied the game at 3.
Well, as a pitcher, somebody makes an error behind you like Dozier did, you want to pick him up, but credit Neuenhuis. He went out and took this pitch. You can see the location. Suzuki wanted it inside, left out over the plate. And Neuenhuis taking it the other way. And with 2 outs, Chris Carter scores from second.
And now here's VR. So each team helped by an error. And Hughes misses the outside corner to VR.
VR in his first season with the Brewers, 3 seasons with the Astros prior to this year.
Backhanded and Suzuki with a throw.
Yeah, nice stop by Suzuki.
Let's see, what position does BR play?
He is a shortstop.
Why on earth would the Houston Astros trade a shortstop? Carlos Correa is going to probably be the Astros shortstop for the next 15 years.
You hope young men like him stay healthy for that long.
Astros got a right-handed pitcher by the name of Cy Snead. Down and in. Now 3-0.
Phil's just not as sharp as we saw him in his first 2 starts.
60 pitches, 35 strikes.
16 pitches this inning.
Flores on deck. And a strike called, 3-1. It looked like that might have been outside the Fox track strike zone. Bunted, and that got Suzuki where no catcher wants to be gotten.
Well, with Nunez playing at deep third base, VR tried to lay it down and fouled it off.
Everybody doing what they can out of respect for Kurt's predicament. Umpires asking for some new baseballs. You and I is going to laugh about it because he's never caught a day in his life. Everybody laughing, and I look next door, and your friend, former catcher Bill Schroeder, his face contorted in agony because of what happened to Suzuki. Only catchers, I think, can fully appreciate the gravity of the situation. 3-2 with 2 down. And ball 4. And when was the last time Phil Hughes walked 2 men in 1 inning? Wow.
I said he just doesn't look as sharp here tonight as we have seen him. That's Phil right there asking Suzuki if he's okay.
MLB is in full swing, and Thursday Miguel Cabrera and the Tigers take on division rival and reigning World Series champion Kansas City at 5:30 Central in a game you can only see on Fox Sports 1 or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. About that time, we'll be on our way to Washington, D.C. after the final game of this Milwaukee series. At least I hope that's the case. Missing inside.
Pretty good pitch there. I think Phil, the way he walked back, he wanted that. Flores just 24 years old in his first season with the Brewers, originally signed by the Yankees out of Venezuela.
And Hughes snatches the return throw back from Suzuki. A 1-2-3 second, a 1-2-3 third, bookended by 2 very un-Phil Hughes-like innings. On the ground, Dozier with the catch, and that'll end it. But a couple of unearned runs for the Brewers, and we're even at 3.
Byung Ho Park leads off the Twins' bottom half of the 4th inning, and down the left field line, Park jerseys, Park in Korean. This is a special area that the Twins designated tonight as Byung Ho's balcony. He said before the game that he was very humbled that the Twins would do this for him. He also had a lot of input in the design of these hats to make sure that they were accurate. First of all, that they indeed said Byung Ho's balcony, and that he liked the design, which he did. And also out here, they are serving some authentic Korean food, some Korean-inspired dishes and beer in Korea, which is metchu, I have learned. And there are literally, I'm going to guess, like 500 fans just in these 3 sections right here.
Oh, it's tremendous.
Korean fans are very well represented. Byung Ho Park is well represented here tonight.
It's called metchu, the beer?
It is called metchu.
Okay.
You're going to need to write that down, Mark.
Because of WBC, we are heading to Korea. That is our first stop for the WBC next year. So I'll be having some metchu.
Park, Escobar, and Suzuki. 3-0 the count to Park, leading off the Twins 4. Taking all the way 3-1. Twins, in addition to signing Park, have hired a translator for Byung Ho Park. High fly to right field and deep. Wow. Power to center, power to left, and now power to right.
Home run number 3 for Park. What a celebration going down off in that section. Gives the Twins a 4-3 lead. Second home run for the Twins here so far.
Marnie brought her magic to that section like she did to the Colomelo family a couple of years ago. That's a in a way even more impressive than his blast over the batter's eye. That almost went into the second deck in right center. Wow.
Well, he got a 3-1 fastball, took it the other way for his 3rd home run of the year.
And strike 1.
Twins now have 9 home runs on a year. They're all solo.
Escobar with a single to right center. Hack foul. Through the translator, J.D. Kim, I've had some conversations with Park, and the fact of the matter is this Twins team in the coming years could be the most international team in Major League Baseball. You could have starters from Venezuela, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Germany, Korea, and maybe even 1 or 2 guys from the United States. So
it's good to see that baseball is worldwide now, and you're having these guys come from Korea and Japan and other parts of the world.
I'm talking today with Park and his translator, J.D. Kim, and I wanted to learn how to say hello and goodbye in Korean. I know a little bit of German. I can throw a few phrases at Max Kepler, and I know even less Spanish, unfortunately, and I can have a word or two with Eduardo Escobar. But for instance, goodbye in Korean is Annyeonghi Kaseo, and I said it a few times in front of Park to make sure that I pronounced it right, and twice he said very good pronunciation. Now here he can handle pronunciation, 5 syllables in the English language, and I'm just trying to handle 2 of them in Korean. So I'm thinking I'm like in that last at bat, he said Annyeonghi Kaseo to the baseball, right? He said goodbye to the baseball.
Yes, he did.
So I'm going to have to incorporate that now into maybe a home run call.
I think you should do that. All I'm worried about is metchu.
2-2 to Escobar. And a called 3rd strike, 1 away.
Escobar doesn't like that call right there, but Anderson gets that low strike for his 3rd strikeout.
Look at the
fastball away. Look at that. Nice extension. And that uppercut swing.
3 home runs, and we haven't seen one of his famous bat flips yet. This ball hit off the facing of the second deck.
That's what's cool about the home run right there. Very nice. That home run measured by Park at 402 feet.
You know, we're kind of, in our own way, a little bit of a good luck charm. 2 years ago, Marnie was interviewing Colabello's mom, and he hit a home run while right in the middle of the interview. Last year, Jamie Hirsch was out with the Rosario family when he hit a home run on the first pitch he saw in the big leagues. Got to hire Marnie to come down to the fantasy camp.
That is a great sign for Kurt Suzuki. An RBI double high off the wall in right center in his first at bat. And when Kurt Suzuki is hitting the ball well, he does a great job of this. Fastball away, just hit it that way. Carter playing off the line at first base. It gets by him. You see where Carter is on the top of your screen to the right. Shoots it by him into right field.
You see shifts like that and you realize Wee Willie Keeler, who coined the phrase hit them where they ain't, the Hall of Famer, he'd have hit 450 in the modern era of baseball. Here's Buxton and a foul back. Buxton struck out. First of 3 strikeouts for Anderson. And the pull shift on for Buxton. Look at this. You know, we talked about it in the early innings of the first game Friday. The Angels were shifting more than anybody else in baseball, and then they proceeded not to shift that much.
Right.
And here are the Brewers. Well, they did it for Dozier. They did it for Park. And now for Buxton, 3 pull shifts to right-handed batters.
Yeah, I was talking to Bill Schroeder, former catcher of mine and the analyst for the Brewers, and he said they shift on everybody.
And Buxton down the line. A fair ball into the corner. Suzuki will round third and score. Buxton right behind him going into third. I would not want to be at first base when Byron Buxton hits a ball like that. It could be a little embarrassing.
He fought that ball off and hit it right down that left field line. And then it's off to the races for Byron Buxton. Suzuki scores from first base. And Anderson getting roughed up a little bit here in the 4th inning. Ball had some top spin on it. And Flores had a little tough time getting that ball out of that corner, and it's a triple for Buxton, his first triple of the year, driving in his 2nd run.
Infield in now for Nunez, who's hit the ball right on the button twice. Pull shift up for Nunez. So that's 4 right-handed batters. And
I don't think they like Chris Carter at first base. Nobody else wants to play that side of the diamond.
So far, only Suzuki has really exploited that shift. And Nunez jabs at it on a maybe safety squeeze. And the count goes to 0-2. Well, Anderson really needs a strikeout. Take much to get Buxton in, and Nunez wanting to focus on putting the ball in play here someplace. At the knees, 2 down.
Well, 2nd strikeout of the inning for Anderson. It's a big one here. 2nd one down in the strike zone.
Only in Minnesota will you find the rich heritage of Ojibwe and Mdewakanton Sioux Native Americans in colorful powwows. Powwows may be traditional or competitive. The ceremony begins in silence while a medicine man performs the pipe ceremony, a prayer for all people. For endless ideas on the perfect getaway, ExploreMinnesota.com. Share your favorites with hashtag #OnlyInMN. Full shift on for Dozier. Twins are leading 5-3, but they did not do well situationally in the third. They had Dozier at second, nobody out. He never got to third base, much less score. And now kind of the same thing here. Buxton at third with one out, and Nunez couldn't get him in. And that pitch called a strike. One and one. Twins answer after the Brewers are gifted a couple of runs. Twins come back with a couple here, and if Dozier can hit a double, they will have hit for the cycle here in the fourth inning. Fouled back, 1-2. It looked like Dozier was trying to hit the ball to the right side there.
Well, it seems like the pitches Anderson has thrown to Dozier so far, not a lot of pitches inside. Everything has been away.
One and two. Right back to the mound. And Buxton will be left at third. He drove in a run with a triple. And before all that, Byung-Ho Park, who hit a home run, his first big league home run to left, his second one to center, now works over the fans in right field. And I have no idea where Mike Everett's strike zone is.
He has not called that curveball for Phil. That one inside. The other ones have been outer half. So Phil's going to use that little cutter, and that pitch is not there.
And the check swing is called.
Okay.
It's 1-1.
Santana, a couple of ground ball outs, one to Dozier, one to Escobar. He made a good play. There's a good breaking ball that Santana swung through.
One and two. And now 2-2. Last inning, Phil Hughes had a 3-1 lead. An error by Brian Dozier gave the Brewers an opportunity. They jumped all over it, scored a couple of runs to tie the game, but now it's 5-3. 2-2. And a strikeout.
Yeah, good breaking ball right there. Phil Hughes picks up his fourth strikeout.
She's been a good luck charm in her great broadcasting career. Let's see where Marnie Kellner is now.
Hey, maybe some good luck for Andrew in the Minnesota Lottery Winners Circle with $100 worth of scratch-off tickets. Look at Andrew's sign. This is the Young Ho Park sort of theme song when he hits a home run. This says bang, bang, bang with the dates of the 3 home runs. Yes, 3. Look at today. That says today, April 8th, April 16th, and today. Andrew, how did you predict this home run?
Well, I mean, you always got to have faith in your players, and, he just responded to my faith, and he hit it.
So you're the luck charm.
Yeah.
When did you make this sign?
3 hours ago, today.
You felt it 3 hours ago.
I did it.
And in Young Ho Park's next at-bat, what are you feeling?
I'll say it's going to be another home run, I'll say.
Number 4,
Why
Dick
not?
and Bert check back with us here
Okay.
in Young Ho's balcony after his next at-bat.
Very nice. Thank you, Marty. You are hereby circled, young man.
Nice timing for Marnie's little segment there, because we got a wall problem in left field. And Oswaldo Arcia, not a member of the grounds crew, is going to be joined by someone who is. An odd occurrence, at least I've never seen it here before.
Well, there's a.
Okay, now look at this. Now I don't feel so bad, because that's what I would have done.
Duct tape.
Get some duct tape out. Duct tape will fix anything.
You can hear the fans that use duct tape.
Now, this might be the first time that a pitcher has had his rhythm, to the extent Hughes has gotten into one, broken and finally resolved by duct tape.
Wow, there is an opening right there, exactly where that came loose, and Arcia saying, okay, that works.
Yeah.
Well, he took it away. Maybe somebody from behind fixed it. And he'll get a nice ovation as he runs off the field with the duct tape.
You're a big duct tape user, too?
Oh, yes. I have a hammer and duct tape. If I can't fix up my hammer, I duct tape it. Nice ovation.
Scooter Gennett will bat with 1 out. That's hit to the gap in right center field. And Gennett will dig for second, and he's in with a double.
Second time that Gennett has jumped on that first pitch in the first inning. He jumped on the first pitch, hit the double to left center. This time he pulls it to right center.
Hughes has given up 5 hits. A couple of extra base hits, both of them by Gennett. And now here's Ryan Braun representing the tying run. Braun has reached twice, an RBI single in the first, grounding a single into center, and then a leadoff walk in the 4th. Tap foul, 1 strike. Braun under contract to the Brewers through the year 2020. 4 more years after this year. 1 strike from Phil Hughes to Ryan Braun. Laced to left center field. The Brewers get a quick run back. Buxton's able to cut it off, but Braun still will go to second with a double. And Phil Hughes not handling Prosperity very well. He gave back a 2-run lead in the 4th, and now the Brewers strike quickly with a couple of ringing doubles.
Yeah, back-to-back doubles makes it a 5-4 ball game, and Phil just not as sharp here tonight. Leaving some pitches up. Braun picking up his second RBI of the ball game.
Twins bullpen in a little bit of desperate shape. Kevin Jepson not expected to be available, having pitched in 3 straight days. So of course that would mean someone else, maybe Trevor May, maybe Ryan Presley, would be asked to close games in the event the Twins have a save opportunity. Here's Jonathan Lucroy with the tying run at second. First pitch chopped on 1 hop. Nunez looks to second, and Maurer with a nice backhanded pickup. Nunez in spring training had a throwing slump, if there is such a thing.
Yeah, he threw a sinker over there, and Joe, nice pick at first. Plenty of time to set up, gets his legs underneath, picks up Braun at second base, and then throws it low. And Joe able to pick it for the second out.
2 down, and now Chris Carter. Carter hit the ground ball. It should have been a double play. Wouldn't have ended the inning, but Dozier threw the ball into the Twins dugout, and the Brewers ended up getting 2 earned runs or unearned runs. Here's a 89-mile-per-hour cutter, and Carter swings through it. Fouled away, 2 strikes. As uneven as Hughes's night has been, he might still be asked to pitch longer than normal because of the bullpen situation. The Twins don't have a lot of experience from the left side. They got Taylor Rogers and Ryan O'Rourke tonight. Jepson's not available. Tonkin, as well as he pitched 2 innings. The Twins would rather not use him.
Yeah, O'Rourke, you know, he's going to give you maybe, you know, he get you a couple outs, maybe an inning, but it's Rogers that would have to maybe go, you know, an inning or more.
And I think it's Rogers warming up right now. Check swing foul. I checked, by the way, with Ryan O'Rourke. There's Rogers. And he told me, yeah, he was available today after throwing 1 pitch yesterday. Nearly got the win.
Yeah. We see the pitch count at 78. Needs to get out of this inning, maybe 1 more.
2 strikes to Carter. That pitch has been called a strike, but not there. It looked like it was outside, but we've seen a pitch down the batter's box stripe being called a strike.
Where Suzuki's set up. Just missing outside.
1-2 to the strikeout prone yet dangerous Chris Carter. Foul back.
This is season number 6 for Carter at the major league level. He's been up and down with the A's and the Astros, but a .217 career hitter with a lot of pop.
1-2. Slow breaking ball chopped to Nunez. And double clutching and then rifling his throw to Mauer for the 3rd out.
He had to. Carter was hustling down that line.
Pair of doubles and another Brewer run in the 5th. see fans of the game out in Park's balcony. They've seen Young Ho Park hit a home run. And Twins hope to get Park to the plate here in the 5th. It'll be Mauer, Sano, and Arcia, and then Park would be the 4th man to bat. Mauer 0 for 2. A check swing comebacker in the 1st, and then he lined to Flores in left in the 3rd. Twins lead by a run, but it's had kind of a frustrating feel to it because they scored twice in the 2nd and could have scored more if not for the defensive shift and the Park double play. And then in innings 3 and 4, the Twins scored, but they should have scored more.
You know, we've played so many close ball games, 4-2, 3-1, 3-0, that these games are kind of odd right now. This is a 13th game for the Twins and also for the Brewers.
I don't think hitters from either side or pitchers from either side are quite happy with Mike Everett's strike zone. Mauer with some conversation after a called 2nd strike. And fouled away.
You know, to go with what I was talking about when I pitched, it was the American League, National League umpires, and now, you know, I did a survey one year on 3 of our starters, Slowey, Baker, and Liriano. And Baker, I remember, had 29 starts. He had 29 different home plate umpires. Sometimes that's tough.
Grounded to 2nd, Jeanette right there. And Mauer retired, 1 away. Before Sano's at bat, the Budweiser Roof Deck is the ultimate Minnesota Twins outdoor experience. The roof deck is available for your group of 250 guests on both Independence and Labor Day weekend. Your clients and staff will love the views, amenities, large fire, everything you need for mixing game time with social time. Go to twinsbaseball.com/groups. Learn more about how your group can experience the Budweiser Roof Deck. Sano takes a strike at the knees. A home run into the bullpen in his 2nd inning at bat. And then he took a looping curveball from Anderson for a called 3rd strike in the 3rd. On a half swing, a roller behind Butch Davis, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, Anderson has given up 9 hits. He has 4 strikeouts, but no walks in the ball game.
That's the pitch that struck Sano out looking. Slow breaking ball. This one dropped down and away.
Yeah, that it was a 3-2 breaking ball that stayed inside, and Sano kind of gave up on it, and it broke out over the plate. So the changeup that Lucroy wanted, then the fastball, and see if they go back to the curveball. Nope. Slider.
Off the plate. Lucroy, I don't know Lucroy. I've talked to him, pleasant enough guy, but he almost looked frustrated behind the plate, like I'm
trying to help you here.
I know. I've got a little more experience than you've got.
Well, they're going to go fastball in.
And now the count runs full. At what point did you feel you were in control of the game rather than the catcher? When you came up, Phil Roof or George Mitterwald, somebody who was catching up, I'm guessing you just followed their lead, right?
Yes, I pretty much, Phil Roof taught me so much about pitching.
Curveball backhanded by Jeanette, and Sano retired, out number 2. Let's see where in this beautiful ballpark Marty Gellner is now.
Well, I'm here to tell you 3 things that I learned about Oswaldo Arcia today. Eduardo Escobar told me that Arcia overreacts to everything. He jumps 3 feet out of the way of an inside pitch. He wants to break his bat over his leg on a called 3rd strike. Eduardo Nunez said Arcia loves to be the center of attention. He said when everybody's looking at him, that's exactly the way he wants it. And according to Miguel Sano, the hair is not working. Arcia has that longer kind of stringy hair on top this year, and Sano told me he needs to make an adjustment. Es no bueno.
Laughing at his hair.
1-0 to Arcia. That's to center, and it'll drop for a hit. So Arcia Has a couple of singles as his batting average continues to climb. He's taking advantage of the fact that Eddie Rosario is struggling. There you see the locks of Oswaldo Arcia.
He did a good job of getting away from everybody as they were charging to celebrate with him.
Well, Paul Molitor in complimenting Arcia says we know that even as he is refined, he's going to strike out a lot, but even the strikeouts have been better strikeouts. And I think if you've watched the Twins this year, you know that Paul has seen his hitters strike out a lot, and he's seen some good strikeouts and bad strikeouts, so he knows the difference. Here's Park, who was very strikeout prone early on, has still struck out 15 times and now 38 at bats, but he's hit 3 home runs, a long one to left, a long one to center, and in his last at bat, a long one to right. Fouled off a leg, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, first 2 pitches, fastballs inside the park from Anderson.
On the top edge of that shin guard.
Yeah.
1-1. And he beats the shift. And Arcia will hold up at second base. Well, that's what will eventually cause teams to not shift. That ball would have been hit right where a second baseman would normally be. And now there are two out singles to set up Escobar.
Well, kind of an inside-out swing for the 3rd time they're trying to go in. The ball stayed up a little bit, and Park very quick got the bat out and hit it into right field.
When asked about all the shifting the Angels had done before the Twins series, Mike Scioscia said, well, you know, it's going to be on a game-by-game basis depending on how hitters react. He said good hitters will beat the shift. Anybody with bat control should be able to beat a shift. Now, that doesn't mean everybody can do it, you know, but
right.
A good hitter should be able to beat the shift. And so if you don't like being shifted, beat it, you know, as Park just did. Here's Escobar on the outside corner, and Escobar was called out on strikes in his last at bat. Doesn't like strike 1 here. Escobar singled and scored in the 2nd. Brewers pull shifting him. And a little roller to first. And Carter to the bag. Twins get a couple of singles, leave 2 on. It's a 1-run Twins lead after 5.
Milwaukee Brewer. Baseball in this city is important to me. I feel a responsibility for it.
Being connected to the Twins organization as a player, as a coach, and now having an opportunity to manage is pretty special for me.
Back in the day when Paul Molitor was establishing a Hall of Fame career as a player, mostly in Milwaukee, Craig Counsell was just, to use Paul Molitor's term, the baseball equivalent of a gym rat, always around the ballpark. Lazy fly to center should be an easy first out for Buxton. Craig Counsell's dad, who I had a chance to meet at the Florida Governor Baseball's baseball dinner in February down in Fort Myers, worked for the Brewers, worked in the public relations, community relations department. And so Craig, as an aspiring baseball player, was always around the ballpark, would work out with the players, and got exposed to big league life internally because of his father's job.
Yeah, and his father, John, also an outfielder in the Twins organization back in the late 60s.
Phil Hughes could use a quick inning. He couldn't have gotten a quicker first out, and now he delivers a strike to Neuenhuis.
Well, what's kind of cool about, Counsell being the manager of the Brewers, he was born in Wisconsin,
right,
where Twins, Paul Molitor, was born in St. Paul.
And a strike on the outside corner, and that causes a reaction from Neuenhuis.
I think Phil said, finally, you called a breaking ball. And that, be honest with you, this one looked like it did go around the plate.
That was not a strike.
No.
And on a called third strike, Neuenhuis just looks off in the distance, mutters something, maybe to himself, maybe to the home plate umpire, but he keeps walking to the dugout, so he'll stay in the game.
Yeah, strikeout number 5 for Phil Hughes. And that little cutter.
That looked like, well, that looked like right where strike 2 was, I guess.
Well, at least he's consistent.
Here's VR.
It just takes a while sometimes to find out what his strike zone is.
And Mike Everett seems to be in the shape of the state of Massachusetts. 1-1.
See, I like those Texas umpires.
Yeah. Big. But ideally, you'd like to have a true rectangular strike zone, wouldn't you?
You would. Yep.
1-2.
And VR asking Everett, thought that ball was low.
And a good inning for Hughes. A couple of called third strikes. 5 in a row set down by Hughes. Sports North is presented by Northland Ford. Visit NorthlandFord.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. Twins in front, and former Twin Blaine Boyer will come out of the Milwaukee bullpen.
Yeah, Blaine Boyer with the Twins last year, making his 5th relief appearance. Last year, 68 ball games pitched for the Twins out of the bullpen. Very good 2.49 earned run average in 65 innings pitched. Boyer, 34 years old, signed with the Brewers as a free agent back in February.
Suzuki with 2 opposite field hits. A double high off the wall in right center field, and then a single to right. You know, this ballpark does not yield many opposite field home runs. Particularly tough for right-handed batters to hit it out to right field. Pujols did it the other night. Park did it today, and Suzuki nearly hit one to the deepest part of this ballpark to right field. There's a chopper with Villar cutting in front of Jeanette. Suzuki retired, one away. Time now for a look at the Twins road ahead, presented by Jeep. We got a day game tomorrow here, and then we go to Milwaukee for a night game Wednesday, a day game Thursday, and then a night game Friday, a day game Saturday and Sunday in DC. And all the games you see there will be televised. Check your local listings, which you used to have to do in an actual newspaper. Now you just turn on your computer or your phone and you find out that way.
Heck, you can ask Surrey. You ever use Surrey?
I have not. I've been with people who have.
Yeah.
Giving me directions. Cool. I came close with the radio guys a couple years ago, trying to find my way back from Jupiter, Florida. I don't know whether it was Corey, whether it was Kyle Hammer. It wasn't Gladden. He wasn't in the car with us. And I almost grabbed the thing and threw it out the car window.
Why?
Because she got us lost.
Where'd you end up?
Heading towards Miami, which is not where we wanted to go.
Hey, Key West is really nice during the springtime.
I did, 2.5 hours to Jupiter, Florida for a spring training game. I did not want to go to Key West. I wanted to get back to Fort Myers. Buxton with a triple into the left field corner his last time up.
Well, Boyer did a good job last year out of that bullpen. Fastball in the low 90s, curveball, little cut fastball, and a changeup. We talked about it last year. Remember, he was out of baseball.
Pulled foul.
He thought that his career was done after the Mets back in 2011. He went to Japan 1 year in 2013. Then he signed a minor league contract with the Kansas City Royals. Then later pitched for the Padres, and then last year the Twins.
2-2 to Buxton with one gone in the 6th. Fly ball short right. Coming in is Santana. 2 down, and that'll bring up Nunez. Twins have led most of the way here tonight, but again, the Twins with 11 hits through 5 innings have just the 5 runs. Nunez singled and scored in the 3rd. He's hit the ball hard twice. Was called out on strikes by home plate Mike Everett in the 4th. That was a big strikeout for Chase Anderson because Buxton was at 3rd with 1 out. Brewers had the infield in. And strike 1 to Nunez. And Anderson didn't do a whole lot of things right tonight, but he was able to strand Buxton at 3rd base in the 4th inning. 1 strike to Nunez. Just missed the corner, 1-1. foul, and that puts a dent into Lucroy.
Yeah, Boyer with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Lucroy taking one off the mask. Boyer pitched for the Braves, the Cardinals, the Diamondbacks, the Mets, the Padres, and then last year the Twins. Brewers his 7th different organization to pitch for.
One and two. Busted bat. And Jeanette's going to have to hurry. Safe at first. Nunez's best asset has always been his legs. And that ball hit the ground 4 or 5 times. That allowed Nunez to beat it out.
Well, he broke the bat right here. But Nunez hustling out of that box. And, of course, losing the helmet. And you can see he beat the throw. So Nunez gets his 2nd hit, comes with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th.
And we'll see if the Twins move Nunez here or try to. Dozier will be the batter. He's 1 for 3, hit a number up the 3rd baseline for an infield hit in the 3rd. And now the 2nd baseman, Jeanette, shifting back and forth and now almost lined up directly behind the 2nd baseman. So again, a huge hole on the right side of the infield for Dozier. Nunez goes on the first pitch. There will be no throw. 9th Twin steal in 13 tries.
Nunez steals his 3rd base of the year. Gets into scoring position with 2 outs. Looked like a breaking ball. And I think Lucroy may have been crossed up here.
That ball hit the thumb of his mitt. Never got inside the catcher's mitt. Get our Fox Sports North sales staff to sell advertising time every time Nunez advances a base. We could sell a 20-second spot while he retrieves his helmet. And that's over the inside corner, 1-1. Twins need to get Dozier to get going. Just the 2 runs scored, one of them on his own home run.
8 hits and 45 at bats for Brian Dozier with a double and a home run.
Inside. With Nunez stealing 2nd, that allows Carter to play off the bag, and that closes the hole a little bit that was open on the right side, but Dozier's shown no inclination to hit the ball over there anyway. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
Well, if you've always been a pull hitter and they leave that big gap open towards 2nd base and right field, I don't know if you can. It's that easy to make an adjustment to try to inside out the ball.
It's not easy, as Moustakas told me in Kansas City,
right.
But you got to make the commitment to do it. 2-2 to Dozier. Twins hoping to add an insurance run, and that'll do it. Nunez had to duck out of the way. He'll still score. Dozier digging for 2nd. There's going to be a play. Nope, throw off target. It is a double for Dozier. And the Twins lead by 2 again.
Well, Brian Dozier hitting it right through the shift as far as the shortstop and the 2nd baseman. And Nunez, this ball right at Eduardo Nunez. He has to hesitate a second and get down and then scores. For Brian Dozier, just his 3rd RBI of the year on his 2nd double.
And now a 2-out hit, scoring an insurance run, and the Twins could use one more here from Mauer. He's 0 for 3. He's hit the ball hard once. Mauer 2 ground balls and a liner to left. Strike on the outside corner.
You know, I've been looking out at the Twins bullpen, and Taylor Rogers has been up for a long time. And you wonder if Phil Hughes' 6 innings is enough. 89 pitches for Phil. He got up last inning.
Down and away.
That run that Boyer gave up, his first run he gave up so far this year. Came into the game 4 2/3 innings, not allowed a run.
This inning, wherever it leads, the 1 insurance run, maybe more, all due to Nunez's speed down the first baseline, beating out what looked like a routine grounder. It's raining here.
Yeah, good point.
Just notice that the gray skies we've had all day. There's a pitch that's on or near the outside corner.
You see Joe kind of shaking his head. Remember, early in the ball game, it seemed like Evans wasn't calling that curveball that starting away. Now it seems like he's calling that backdoor curveball away to lefties.
1-2 to Mauer. Sliced foul. 13 hits. One of the best hitters in the league doesn't have one yet.
Joe on that 8-game hitting streak, so see if they can get a hit right here, keep it going.
One and two. Boyer to Mauer. 2-2. Sano on deck. Hughes with the jacket on. Down the line, fair into the left field corner. Dozier will score. Mauer to second, and he's in with another 2-out double.
Well, Joe does keep that hitting streak alive, now at 9 ball games with his second double of the year, and picking up his 4th RBI. You're right, Dick. This inning has gotten to where we're at because of Nunez's hustled out of that batter's box. Fastball away, Joe just taking it the other way, right down that left field line. Bangs off the wall. Dozier with 2 outs. He's off with a crack of the bat. And the Twins put another 2 on the board.
They've scored in 4 of the 6 innings. 9-game hitting streak now, and a big run batted in. Twins enjoying their largest lead of 3. Largest lead of the season. And Sano takes a strike on an off-speed pitch. So everybody in the lineup has at least 1 hit. Sano got the first hit for the Twins. A rocket into the bullpen for his first home run of the year. 1-1. Three straight 2-out hits and 2 big insurance runs. Big swing, and Sano looked like he got exactly what he was waiting for. He just tapped it foul.
Yeah, change up right there, a little out front, fouled it off.
Boyer did a really good job for the Twins last year. The bullpen maybe the team's strength, and he was a big part of it. Brewers with a 13-man pitching staff. Sano takes one in the dirt. Nice block by Lucroy, holding Mauer at second. Tyler Cravey warming up behind Boyer. Rain continues to come down fairly hard. Chopped foul. Well, we said the Twins struggling offensively, even with the 3 wins in a row. Dozier had only scored 2 runs. Sano's only driven in 2 runs, and each has added 1 in that category tonight already. Dozier scoring here in the 6th, and Sano driving in his 3rd run with his home run in the 2nd. And now 3-2 with Arcia on deck.
Yeah, good take right there on that breaking ball, down and away.
Waited, tapped it foul. Twins with 2 home runs tonight. Sano's in the 2nd, Parks in the 4th. So now 9 home runs hit that have driven in a total of 9 runs.
Yeah, this will be pitch number 30 this inning for Boyer.
Another off-speed pitch. I don't remember Boyer throwing so many off-speed pitches last year. Maybe it's just to this guy. Sano's drawn 7 walks. He struck out 18 times with the 3rd inning strikeout. And pitch inside. And a pitch that Sano, in most circumstances, probably would have taken. But I think hitters by this point are a little flummoxed by the home plate umpire's strike zone. Sano was called out on strikes in the 3rd on a slow breaking ball that looked like it was inside.
You know, I think the first couple, 3, 4, maybe 7 games, we saw guys missing those pitches, and now at least you can see they're making contact.
Right.
Good at bat right here for Sano.
They're working him over inside, and Sano doesn't want to get called out on.
Yeah, good sinking fastball in. And VR having a conversation with Boyer.
Twins batters have struck out 4 times tonight.
Never pitching when there's a shift on like they do. It's got to be strange for a pitcher to turn around and see your second baseman playing short.
And Sano finally takes ball 4, and Arcia will come up with 2 men aboard. And Craig Counsell is going to come to the mound. Been a long inning. The first 2 outs came so quickly, then the Twins go single, double walk against Boyer, and he will not be able to complete the 6th inning.
Yeah, 33 pitches for Blaine Boyer.
A pitching change with 2 in and 2 out, 2 on in the 6th. to straightaway center. That's to the left field corner. Drives way in. Arcia drops a game winner into the left field corner. Seemingly no clutch hits in the first 9 games, and now with the pitching change, the skies have really opened up. Yeah. And I'm fearful we might have to stop the game.
Tyler Cravey coming into the ball game, making his 4th appearance.
Arcia takes strike 1.
Well, they must feel that this is going to blow over for them to continue to play.
I'm fearful about what will happen when this half inning ends. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
And Arcia losing a grip, I think, on that bat.
The water, of course, dripping off the brim of the helmet makes it tough. And we saw what happened to Trevor May when he tried to pitch in Baltimore with a slippery mound. And Arcia saying that he foul tipped it. The half inning ends, and we'll see whether the grounds crew is busy here. Larry DeVito is saying, yep, we got to get the crew out. The tarp will come on.
To do during a rain delay. Well, there is never a fun rain delay when I'm actually pitching.
Play cards.
Play cards.
Pick up a game of cards, maybe play some cribbage or something like that.
Kind of just sit back and kind of chill with all the guys.
Try not to eat too much. It's always a hard one.
I love to eat, so anytime that I get a chance to get back to the spread or get back to the snack stand, I'm there.
Well, whatever their favorite thing to do during a rain delay is, they will be doing it. It came down awfully hard during the pitching change, and Larry DeVito and the grounds crew getting the tarp on the field as quickly as they could. One would think, as hard as it rained before the tarp was put on, that whenever it stops, assuming it will stop, the field's going to take a little time for treatment to dry it out. The Twins adding a couple of runs to now lead by 3. And within the 6th inning, Joe Mauer got a hit, and so everybody in the Twins lineup has at least one hit.
Yeah, good night at the plate for everybody. You can see Nunez. I tell you what, again, the 2 runs scored in the 6th inning because of Nunez's hustle down that line, beating out that play. That allowed Dozier and Mauer to follow with back-to-back doubles.
And so the Twins will carry a lead through the rain delay. In the event it rains all night and they end up banging the game, we would revert. I don't believe the 2 runs would score. Well, we completed the inning, so yes, it would be a 7-4 final. I was thinking in the event of the second, the game being stopped in the middle of an inning, but it would be a 7-4 game. We don't anticipate that happening. It's been a good night for the Twins, and And a good night for Byung-Ho Park.
Yeah, Byung-Ho Park go back to the 4th inning. He was the first hitter up. Took a fastball, a 3-1 fastball the other way from Brewers starter Chase Anderson. That made it a 4-3 ball game.
You know, one thing we've seen from Park, tremendous power. That's how he was advertised with the back-to-back 50 home run seasons in Korea. But I mean, he hasn't hit a wall scraper yet. I mean, the one he hit for his first home run to left was a long home run. Obviously the one to center was, and this one here tonight.
Yeah, this one came into Kansas City.
That was back on the fountains.
Yep.
Then he hit one into the new bar and restaurant area in straightaway center.
Yeah, into the catch area. That's the way I used to give them up, just like that.
And then, as we said, there haven't been many opposite field home runs in this ballpark. Mainly from the right side, it's been particularly tough, but he banged it off the facing of the second deck. So one to left, one to center, one to right. And while it is raining, we will entertain you with Tom Hanneman and Roy Smalley from the booth.
Whew.
And this rain delay is going to be the best thing to happen to your viewing this week. That's how entertaining Tom and Roy are going to be.
You're
not going to
guys.
want to miss. Forget the hockey
dancing.
game. These guys are going to be awesome.